Okay, I want you to just picture the scene for a second. You're in Honolulu. It is like the postcard definition of paradise, right?
Mm-hmm. Palm trees, Mai Tais, the whole deal.
The whole deal. You've got the sun dipping toward the Pacific, and then this bus rolls up,
Mm-hmm.
and off the bus steps this wall of darkness.
It's such a jarring visual, isn't it? A complete clash of
It
worlds.
really is. It's the Wyoming Cowboys, and they've got this coal rush identity. They're draped head to toe in all black uniforms. And against that tropical background, it feels, well, it feels aggressive. It sends a message before a single play is run.
Well, and that's the whole point. It's psychological. You're taking your gritty, blue-collar identity from Laramie, and you are physically imposing it on their turf. It basically says, we are not here for vacation.
No, not at all. And by the time that sun finally set, they had done a lot more than just look intimidating. We're talking about a commanding 31-13 road win, the battle for the Paniolo.
And we should probably pause on that score. 31-13, that's not a squeaker. That's not a game where one lucky bounce decided it.
Not even close. This was a methodical, comprehensive dismantling of a team in their own stadium.
Yep.
And the stakes here, I mean, they were massive. This win pushes Wyoming to 6-0 overall. Still perfect. And maybe more importantly, they're 4-0 in the Mountain West.
Can I just say how hard it is to be 6-0?
Please do, because I think we see that number and just kind of gloss over it.
Right. I mean, at the halfway point of a season, to have a 0 in the loss column is just, it's incredibly difficult. You're dealing with injuries, travel fatigue. I mean, a flight to Hawaii alone can wreck a team's body clock.
Oh, for sure, the trap game.
Exactly. To navigate all of that and stay perfect, that says a lot about discipline, not just talent.
And that's exactly what we want to get into today. This isn't just a box score recap. Anyone can look that up. Our mission for this deep dive is to really analyze how Wyoming has forged this identity. We're going to break down this bend but don't break defense that just seems to suffocate teams.
Especially in the red zone. It's an art form.
Yes. Then we have to dissect this new offensive identity. The sources are calling it a three-headed monster, which sounds, terrifying.
As it should.
And finally, we've got to talk about what this perfect start means, because there is a monster of a showdown with Nevada looming on the horizon.
It just feels like something is clicking with this team, like they've found the formula.
It does. So let's get into that formula. Section 1, the defense. I love this phrase the source material used, bending games to its will. What does that actually mean on the field?
It means you accept the reality of modern college football. Offenses are designed to get yards. The rules favor them. So you say, fine, move the ball between the 20s. We'll let you do that.
Okay.
But once you get close to our end zone, the field shrinks, the windows get tighter, and we are going to make your life miserable. It's not about yards allowed. It's about points allowed.
Situational dominance.
Precisely. And we saw it from the very first possession of this game. Hawaii comes out, they're moving the ball, the home crowd is into it, and then Roman Pearson happens.
Roman Pearson. That name is becoming a recurring theme in these post-game recaps. So walk us through that specific play.
So Hawaii's driving. They're threatening to score right away, which could have totally changed the energy in the stadium. And Pearson just steps up, breaks up a critical pass, and forces them to settle for a field goal.
Now, some people might hear that and think, well, they still scored 3 points. Why is that a defensive win?
Because of the psychology. Hawaii wants to land the first punch at home. A touchdown there, the place erupts. But when you force a field goal, you're essentially telling their offense, that's all you get? All that work for just 3? It sets a tone.
The source said Pearson's name is becoming uncomfortable for opposing QBs.
And that's the goal. You want the quarterback to hesitate for just a split second, wondering where your guy is. In football, that hesitation is all it takes for the pass rush to get home.
And this wasn't just a one-off, right?
Oh.
That whole first half was defined by that idea of nothing comes easy.
It really was. Hawaii got deep into Wyoming territory twice in that first half. Inside the 20, the red zone.
Knocking on the door.
And both times, the Cowboys' defense just stiffened up, held them to field goals. So instead of being down, say, 14-7, Wyoming is still in control. It's incredibly frustrating for an offense.
Speaking of frustrating,
Yeah.
let's talk about the sequence right before the half. For me, this was the pivot point of the whole game. Wyoming's up 14-6. Hawaii's trying to run their 2-minute drill.
Yeah, the danger zone. The offense is going no huddle, trying to catch you off balance and steal a cheap score before halftime. And if they score, they get the ball back to start the third quarter. It's that dreaded double dip.
And like Bo Shelley shows up.
Bo Shelley delivers a crushing sack. And look, a sack is always good, but the timing of this one was everything. A sack in a 2-minute drill is just catastrophic for the offense.
Why is it so much worse then?
Because it kills the clock and the momentum. Time is your biggest enemy. Shelley drops the QB, the clock keeps running, and suddenly their whole plan is out the window. It's just panic.
The source called it a play that erases hope.
I mean, that's a bit poetic, but it's not wrong. That sack sent Wyoming into the locker room with all the momentum, every bit of it.
Okay, so the defense is just suffocating teams. But you can't win 31-13 on defense alone. And this is where it gets really exciting for Wyoming fans. The offense is evolving.
It is. We're seeing the birth of what they're calling the three-headed monster.
I love that. The Hydra of the Mountain West. Let's break down the heads, starting with the quarterback, Nate Johnson.
Nate Johnson is playing at a really high level, and what makes him so tough to defend is that he is a true dual threat.
Let's look at the stats. 44 yards and a TD on the ground, 188 yards and a TD through the air. Solid numbers. But the stats don't tell you when he made the plays.
Exactly. Context is everything. There was a drive late in the first half. I call it the gut punch drive. It tells you everything you need to know about him.
Okay, lay it out for us.
It's 4th and 1, inside the Hawaii 13-yard line.
So this is a huge gamble. Most coaches take the easy 3 points there. You fail, you get nothing.
Right. It's a high-risk, high-reward call.
Yeah.
And the fact that they went for it shows how much they trust him. And he delivers. First, he picks up the first down with his legs, but he's not done. On the very next play, he just scrambles right up the middle for the touchdown.
Oh, that is just demoralizing for a defense. You think you have him stopped, and then boom, he's in the end zone.
It made the score 14-6, a huge swing. And here's the other part of it. When you're a defense and you have to worry about the QB running like that.
You leave yourself exposed on the back end.
Exactly. And sure enough, in the second half, Johnson just unloads a 47-yard bomb to Dion DeBlanc. It flips the field in an instant.
So as a coordinator, what do? You can't defend both.
You pick your poison. And either way, Johnson can beat you.
Okay, so he's the first head of the monster. Let's talk about the second. The workhorse, Teron Kelman.
Kelman is the heartbeat of that run game. He had 103 yards, but the source describes them perfectly as tough yards.
What does it mean, tough yards?
Well, Kelman's not a guy who's always looking for the 60-yard highlight run. He's a bruiser. He hits the hole, takes contact, and falls forward for 4 or 5 yards every single time. Those are the runs that just physically wear a defense down.
So he's like the boxer throwing body blows.
That's a perfect analogy. He softens them up. And just when the defense is getting tired of tackling Kelman and they're worried about Johnson escaping,
they bring in the breakout star, Duke Clark. This is the part of the story that really jumped out at me.
It's a massive development. The transfer from Florida, he has officially arrived.
I mean, look at his size. 6'1", 216 pounds. That is a big, fresh body to bring in.
It's almost unfair. You spent 2 hours tackling Kelman and chasing Johnson. You're gassed. And then this guy comes in, and the source says he runs violent at contact.
Violent at contact. I love that description.
And he's a finisher. He only had 49 yards, but he had 2 touchdowns.
The closer.
Exactly. The takeaway here is that Clark is no longer just a rotation piece. He's a legitimate problem for defenses.
So now you have to game plan for Johnson's arm and legs, Kelman's bruising style, and this 216-pound wrecking ball coming in to finish drives.
It's a nightmare. It's why you end up with a 31-13 score on the road. There are just too many weapons to account for.
Okay, let's go to the second half. The score was still, reasonably close at halftime, 14-6. How did they just blow the game open?
The first few minutes of the third quarter were just an exclamation point. It started with a big burst run from Kelman.
Right.
That set up Duke Clark for a touchdown. All of a sudden, it's 21-6.
And it felt like the floodgates just opened right after that.
They did. Defense gets a stop. Then you had that rapid strike, the long pass to DeBlanc we mentioned.
Followed by more ground and pound from Kelman and Clark.
Which leads to another score. Boom.
Oh, yeah.
28-6.
Oh.
The game went from competitive to a blowout in, 8 minutes of game time?
Now, Hawaii did get a late touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
A scramble from Micah Alahado. Was there any moment there where you thought, uh-oh?
Not for a second.
Yeah.
And you could tell the team wasn't worried. The source called that touchdown cosmetic.
Cosmetic.
Yeah, it just made the final score look a little bit better, but the game was over. The outcome was never in doubt at that point.
And Wyoming's response was so professional, no panic. They didn't start trying to force things.
Nope. They went right into game management mode. They started to bleed the clock.
Explain that for us. Bleeding the clock.
It just means you're intentionally making the game shorter. You run the ball, you stay in bounds, you let the play clock run down to 1 second before you snap it. You're limiting the number of chances the other team has to even touch the ball.
Just calmly closing the door.
Yeah.
That's the sign of a mature team.
Absolutely. They knew their job was to get out of there with a win, and that's what they did.
So we've covered the defense, we've covered the offense. Let's zoom out now. The midpoint test. Wyoming is 6-0.
This is the so what part of the deep dive, right? Why does this all matter?
Because next week is not just another game. They come home to Laramie to face Nevada.
And let's look at the tail of the tape. Wyoming, 6-0 overall, 4-0 in conference. Nevada, 6-0 overall, 3-0 in conference.
Wow. Undefeated meets undefeated. That doesn't happen very often this late in the season.
In the Mountain West, it's incredibly rare. This is, for all intents and purposes, a mid-season championship game. It is a battle for control of the conference.
The winner of this game is in the driver's seat.
Oh, completely. You get that head-to-head tiebreaker. You have the momentum. It puts your destiny squarely in your own hands.
The source material mentions something that I found really interesting. It says there's something bigger starting to whisper in the background. What does that mean to you?
It means when you get to 6-0 and you look this dominant doing it, people start looking beyond just a conference championship.
You mean national rankings, a major bowl game.
That's the whisper. If they can get past an undefeated Nevada team, the conversation changes from, is Wyoming a good team, to just how high can this team climb? You start talking about a potential historic season, maybe even crashing a much bigger party if things get chaotic elsewhere.
That gives you chills a little bit. And it all comes down to this next game.
It's the classic irresistible force versus the immovable object.
And what stands out to me is that this Wyoming success feels sustainable. It's not built on luck or one superstar player. It's a complete system.
That's the main takeaway here. They haven't just survived to get to 6-0. They have defined themselves.
Define themselves as the coal rush.
Exactly. A defense that travels,
Right.
a quarterback who makes plays when they matter, and a running game that can just grind you into dust.
It's a formula that can win anywhere, in any conditions.
And that's what makes them so dangerous moving forward.
So as we wrap this up, let's leave our listeners with one final thought. We've seen the identity take shape. We've seen the rise of this three-headed monster.
And this is a team that does not look like it's ready to slow down.
Not at all. So here's a question to think about before that Nevada game.
Let's hear it.
We know Wyoming is a conference contender. But when you look at that punishing, versatile rushing attack and a defense that simply refuses to break, is that just the resume of a conference contender? Or is this the resume of a team that's capable of crashing a much, much larger party?
That is the million-dollar question, and I